Right, good morning, everybody. How we doing? How we feeling? Let me get myself together. All right, really get my computer together. All right, there we go. All right, so let's jump right on into this. Check a couple things out. All right. So let's look at the economic calendar. And at 8:30 we had the core CPI. At 10:30 we got crude oil inventories. Business as usual. Tomorrow we have initial jobless claims and the JOLTS job openings. And then Friday we have PPI, and we need to check and see if we have a time for the U.S. federal budget. Every other week it's been in the afternoon, so that's what I'm expecting for this week. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the NQ future sessions power range. We got a few things we got to cover this morning. We got time. Oh, what am I doing? All right, so for NQ future sessions power range today, we have a high of 12,827 3/4 with a low of 12,792 and a half. At the time of this posting, we were kind of trading neutral. We'll look at that in a minute. We were down 0.21% with a volume of 119K and an average true range of 354.46. All right, I can go ahead and Well, let's look at it this way first. All right, so from a 15-minute perspective, had some interesting bullish spikes overnight. Even this little, look below and fell. It looks like just looking, at the technicals, like we made an attempt to trade lower, but it, immediately found some resistance down here at -3. And then we had a nice little bounce, and now we're just going to the moon. All right, so let's look at the broader market. All right, the rest of the watch list. So this is what we just looked at from a 3-minute perspective. So you're just kind of chopping around with the exception of those, of the volatility coming in. But keeping in mind, this is a lot of back and forth in a tight range. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at ES. Expecting, pretty much a similar type of price action. My computer seems a little slow this morning. Yep, so pretty much the same, a little bit more calm as usual. ES typically, in terms of the picture that it paints, ES tends to be a little bit more calm than NQ. So pretty much the same there. Let's go ahead on over. I'm pretty sure with the rest of the indices that pretty much be the same. This is the Russell. A little light in volume. And the Dow. Right. And the Dow has the most calm price action, but at the same time it's trading a little bit more bullish than the other ones if we look at the daily, playing around in all-time high territory. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at gold. And I didn't even, it's fine. Here we go. Put our fib levels up there real quick. So gold is just pretty much chopping around. Pretty much the same price action, just chopping around in a tighter range. Nice convergence between the NASDAQ and GC. Head on over to see what crude talking about. Since we have inventory today, I wouldn't, be looking for, I wouldn't expect any, significant move before 10:30. Just based off how I have historically traded it. It's pretty much bouncing around in a range, kind of with trading slightly bullish, leading into the open. All right. And with gold, we looked at gold already for VD Euros. Okay. Pretty much the same. So in terms of the broader pattern, we're pretty much trading the same across the board. Most of the session has been spent below the power range, so pretty much bearish. A little bit of accumulation before we have a nice little spike at 8:30-ish across the market. All right, so pretty much the same. Interestingly, pretty much the same kind of price action with the main contracts that I look at in each sector. As of right now in Q, let's go to M and Q. Matter of fact, let's go over to my trader workbook. This is the one I want. Okay. Definitely want to. So right now my strategy would be looking for a bullish trade. As usual, I want the pullback. Let me go ahead and, so I didn't want to open these up yet. Get my pre-market snapshot. Run through my checklist, make sure I'm not missing or forgetting anything. Remind myself that the only goal is to trade the strategy to perfection. Still holding my rules of no trades after 10:15. Yesterday I didn't get any trades. It's just the market just didn't do what I wanted it to do, understandably so. And I'm still holding the rule of, until I build this account up to a decent size, if I have a profit of $100 or more a day, then I'm done for the day. So I'm gonna have sort of an investor's mindset and just look at the bigger picture and trade for the long term, and not try to worry a whole lot about my P&L in the short term. Got about 5 minutes. Let me go ahead and change up the tunage. And that is too loud. There we go. Make sure that's going through. Last time I was playing music, now I didn't even turn the audio on in OBS. Wow, really? I don't know how that just happened. My tea just jumped out of my cup. I don't know how I ended up doing that. Let me know if y'all can hear that music. I can't. It's hard to tell. I try to listen to it myself. All right. Got my pre-market snapshot. Just doing one last check of the checklist. I highly recommend to use a pre-market checklist. Oh, so I just remembered. So Sierra chart. They're pretty much how can I say it? They're pretty much changing how they issue out there, or how they give access to their platform, which they're trying to raise more capital. Pretty much is really what's going on. You know, and you know I don't have any personal feelings about that. You know, either way. But so before, you used to could get Sierra chart for free, like just in terms of access to the software. You can get it for free through AMP Futures. I don't know if they had any deals with any other brokers, but you know, recently they just put out news that well, I just got the message from AMP that they'll no longer be doing that, and you have to pay for Sierra chart and directly to Sierra chart, right? So if you had the regular package with through AMP Futures, which is package 3, which is just basically, you know, you got your candlesticks and your regular studies and all that stuff, just the basic stuff without the market profile information. That was package 3. You got access to Sierra chart for free through AMP, but now you have to pay for that, which is like, I think it's $26 a month. And for the market profile information, it'll be package 5, which is $36 a month, and that's without you know, any data. So if you want data, then you gotta, like, I got CQG data. So CQG data is, I get that through AMP Futures, and I gotta pay AMP Futures for the data, and then pay Sierra chart for their platform, pretty much. And also there's I haven't did a lot of research on this, but and I put all the links to all this, with everything I'm talking about, in the description. But there's another package, a new package, like 11 or something, where it includes the Nolly data, where you get access like to the historical data. I don't have a lot of information on it, but you know, that's going to be like more expensive than just having access to the platform with the Sierra chart and then paying for data somewhere else. Let's see. So we got some sell off at the open. Still got about a minute and a half. If I can stop clicking on other windows before I can place a trade. I like the +2 level. I wouldn't be surprised if it dips lower than that with this price action. Okay, and I got a TPO level at that same price. Key level I see this morning is +4. What is that? 12. Where we just traded right back above. At 9.55, pretty much 9.55 and a quarter. That 3-minute candle has a very interesting structure, but I still want the pullback, and I want more of a pullback. So hopefully it's not like yesterday where I don't get what I want, and because I'm basing this off of structure, but we do kind of have a volume profile, a volume support there. But I'm also keeping in mind the price action. So the value area, the top of the value area, is at the power range high. There's things to keep in mind. What is that? Pretty much 820, 828, 827.
Order submitted.
Let's see how rough these waters are going to be this morning. Yeah, it is. And it looks like we have a lot of reasons to look at to expect some pullback from what I can see. At 1.5K in the first 3 minutes. Got a little micro battle going on. I am seeing a lot of selling pressure. I see it likely that we make it back to that value area. And And looking historically, we got a lot of support from previous price action. And now I'm playing kind of the structure kind of aggressively. Alright, so again in multi-charts, they got one tick away from my order and turned around. Started not to like this level. That's why I wanted to, why I took it here in this testing mode in Sierra. And the only reason I'm still doing in Sim than Sierra is because I keep forgetting about trading in Sierra. I'm actually done with the test.
Order canceled. Order submitted.
Kind of feel like we can go lower. So basically I'm playing this, all this bullish activity right here. Looking a little deeper for the pullback, since the area that I wanted, it, you know, price action didn't cooperate with me. Didn't cooperate with my order. So now I'm readjusting. Setting a different sight picture. And it bounced off that level again. Again, it wouldn't, if I would have kept my order there, it still wouldn't have triggered me in. But we're getting a lot of, I'm seeing a lot of selling coming in, and just looking at the price action, I no longer like that level. I could be wrong. I can definitely be wrong. Looking at the bigger picture, I'm seeing X60 being a range for what we had a previous pivot from yesterday's high. Still got a little battle in the price action. And while I'm waiting on this, let me go ahead and get those links in there, but I'm gonna switch over monitors. Should have made this link from Amp Futures a tiny link. Hey, that's a super long URL. Just looking at volume, even I feel like this order that I have is still kind of slightly aggressive. Again, I could be wrong, and I'd rather, trade my strategy and end up having no trades again for 2 days in a row than trade outside of my strategy and end up making a mistake. A costly mistake. What did that bounce off of? So we're trying to create this pivot at, it's actually more of a retest. Pretty much at 170. Some buying coming in at 170 or 170, 870. So of course, in hindsight, I could have stayed true to that original order that I had. If we look at the 3-minute, we do have a pivot there. That is the top of this bullish spike that we had pre-market. So we, it did make sense to see some buyers sitting right, waiting right here. If we're just looking at structure. Also, that's one of our TPO levels. It's not letting me do it. Looks like we're trying to form a lower high. So there's a reversal candlestick. On the 3-minute. Okay. I'm watching the top of that previous candlestick, that previous bar. Since we took out that high, we can continue to, we can expect the price to go higher. Just looking at the stories of the candles. There was an attempt right here at 9:48 to take prices back lower. That was failed. That failed, and buyers took over. Now we're running through the stops. And I personally still don't like the breakout. That's just me personally. I had the right idea with my what I was looking at initially. Just price action got me. Hey, is my heater on? Feels like it got warm in here all of a sudden. Starting to warm up here, so in terms of the weather, don't need that. Oh, it's on 76. Good Lord. I got a nest. It sets its own with the AI, it kind of sets its own schedule sometimes. I definitely don't need the heater at this point. It's a little chilly this morning, but it's warming up. And I am definitely glad about that. I'm not a fan of cold weather. I like the warm weather. That's why I miss the Philippines. It's warm all year round. And another random thought while I'm just sitting here watching the price. I watched an interesting movie last night. I heard about it in a podcast I listened to. The Wheeler Dealers is it's a comedy pretty much about short selling. So it was a really good movie actually from 1963. If you got some free time, if you've never seen that movie, that is a movie that I would recommend watching. Put that on the movies to watch list. It looks like we're finding some resistance up here at 970. Back at our right at the top of our the key level that I was looking at earlier. It's at 958 or 959 or 958. We just call it 9. Doesn't matter. Can you live in the Philippines and still trade? Absolutely, because that's what I did for a year. When I was in the Philippines, the only thing I was doing was trading. So if you go back to like the beginning of this YouTube channel in 2018, that's why I was in the Philippines trading. Now the internet is a little, well, it's slower than here in the States, but I didn't have any problems really with the internet. But it depends on where you live. The internet can be spotty depending on where you live. But I lived in like the major city in Manila or near Manila, so we had decent internet. And it was the apartment high rise that we lived in. It was targeted towards expats, so they made sure everything was on point there. Change this music up. Get some different frequencies in my ear. See if I can grab this order. Not opposed to playing that level again.
Order submitted.
So at this point, I'm pretty much ignoring my PR plus 3 because the range is so much higher. Like the price action is trading in a much wider range than the power range levels. So I'm pretty much looking at every other level, even though we just bounced right there. I mean, it's bouncing. We are reacting to those power range levels. It's just at a very small time frame. So we did have form a lower high up here, which was kind of expected. Let's see if we still got some more buyers sitting here, to include myself.
Position opened.
Make sure I get the screenshot. Try to make that the first thing that I do.
Target filled.
Alright, hit my first target. Trading up to the break even trigger.
Order pending.
Before I got to do anything. So at least at this point, I don't have to worry about taking a loss, which is great. Hopefully I get some support from some more buying, push the price back higher. I'll put the details in here later. Yes, I don't have to worry about setting anything else up, any scale ins. let it play out from here. I don't have to make any adjustments. Everything looks good. I may bring this a little bit lower. Where it was felt kind of greedy.
Order submitted.
I like to trade the actual price action and not just some random arbitrary numbers. It's like, well, no, I'm just gonna watch it and see. I'm not gonna speculate. Just popcornize it, let it play out. I'm cool with whatever happens from here.
Target filled.
So hopefully, we continue in this. We continue forming this pennant pattern that it looks like it wants to create. We got this lower high, and now we got this higher low. So we can continue chopping around in this range until it forms like a pennant pattern. Or it can, say screw all that and then trade lower. Or it can go trade higher. You can do anything. But right now it's looking like it's shaping up to be a pennant pattern. Is this Leeloo Express funded? Is this Leeloo Express funded? So I'm assuming you're talking about what I'm trading in right now. And I am in the performance account. The Leeloo Express is just another one of their account types that you can buy for their the Leeloo Express is just an evaluation account that you can purchase, and if you pass it, then you can I forgot which one then you can decide if you want to do an investor, if you want to go to the investor route, or the other one pretty much where you have more scalability, but you start with a lesser account size pretty much. I don't know if any of that made any sense what I just said, but yeah. So what I'm trading in right now is the performance account, the 50K performance account. Okay, that's what's up. Eventually I may end up going for another one, so I may have at least one more. But before I do that, I want to figure out, I want to come up with how I'm going to trade in multiple accounts at one time. So I just want to be able to trade this on one screen, and then it copies the trades over to the other accounts that I have. First day today took the climb, accelerated. Yeah, I looked at that one. Right on, right on. Almost there. There we go. Nice. So far I'm getting off to a pretty good start with this performance account. So that is my one and only trade for the day. That definitely put me over the $100 threshold. So per my rules, I have to stop, and I don't have a problem stopping there. So I'm just in the phase right now of building cushion. I'm not worried about taking a withdrawal. I'm not worried about, anything other than building cushion in this account. And making sure that I stay focused on my one and only goal, which is to trade the strategy to perfection. It was a beautiful trade actually, because it turned right around right at my entry, and then it traded right up to my target, and then we found resistance at my target. If I didn't know that I had nothing to do with that price action right there, then I would feel like a genius. But it was just the market is it worked with me on that one. I'm just gonna put this little switch back over, because we no longer need to record the multi-chart screen. Was it like 10:0? I think I hit my target around 10:08. I'm back putting my notes in. I didn't even paste. Okay. Glad I didn't copy anything else. I forgot to paste the screenshot in there. I'm up $33 because I took a hit at the open. Was on NQ, not MNQ. Hey, it happens to the best of us. I've done things like that before for sure. One of my most common mistakes is trading, like thinking I'm trading in a live account, but I'm actually trading in a sim, or worse. I've been lucky when I, thought I was trading in sim and I was actually trading in my real account. Most of the time that happened, I ended up luckily being able to take profits and not even realizing it until after the fact. But also, it's like there was a time when I was in the Philippines where I took a trade thinking I was trading in my live account, but I was still in sim mode from practicing outside of the normal trading hours, and then had a nice winter and then realized that I was actually in sim mode. I was a little tight that day, a little tight, not gonna lie. kind of choppy today. Just taking care of some house cleaning items, housekeeping items. Nice. Puts me up 427. Ninja Trader, I have it bright green when I'm on sim, yeah, because I have that, I've done that. Where it's when I have 5+ contracts on MQ. Oh yeah. I can only imagine. Thinking you have 5 contracts in M and Q, then you realize it's actually NQ. Now it'd be wonderful if that happens and you're up like $2,000 when you realize it. You're up like 40 points before you realize it. But we definitely want to avoid that. Not being up 40 points, but want to avoid, you know, not paying attention to what we're doing. So at this point, like the next level that I would look at is the power range high. And only because of structure, also volume. We got what we call this, a valley right on the power range high. If we get down there, that is if we get down there. Plus we got structure that supports. We had a nice little pivot at that level. And this green candle right, this this bullish candle right here should give us a lot of support. So people should be, think about other traders. There can be other traders that are looking at this as an opportunity to go long again if it trades back down there. Right now, this range is between these TPO levels are holding strong. Eventually, it will break. But as of right now, we're consistently staying in that range. So Alpine, do you trade only with Ninja Trader, or do you also use Sierra? Or any other platform for that matter. I don't know, with this new direction that Sierra is taking, be interesting to see where they go from there. Because before they did, you could get like more historical data, but now apparently you have to get the like all the like before you I could go back like years and just get every single all the data up to like the second. But now I think it goes back like 30 days or 90 days or something like that. It doesn't go back that far. Luckily I have a lot of the data stored on my computer, so it's not that big of a deal for me. But now, in order to get that same historical data, I think from what I've heard from the word on the street is that you have to pay for the Denali package. So, I mean, just from my personal opinion, this definitely looks like a decision, a bottom line decision that Sierra Chart is making. I don't see it as a good thing or a bad thing. I just see that, this is their business. So the object of a business is to make money. And, when you make decisions to make money, as long as you're not screwing over people and stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to actually, and it's still with their direction that they're taking, they're still actually, for what they provide, they are one of the cheapest platforms. Actually, from what I know, in terms of cost, they offer way more than any other platform that I've experienced, for what they charge. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not technically that bad of a deal. For me personally, I'm okay with the package 5, and that means only it's not going to affect me much at all. So with all of that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close up the shop for the day. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day, a good rest of the week, and I will see y'all on Monday. Trade it easy.